The sky was calm. Clouds drifted slowly above the Pacific Ocean. High above them, the Sky Tower floated, Earth's main orbital command center. From here, the entire planet was watched, protected, and kept safe. Inside, Commander James Walker stood at the wide glass window, sipping his black coffee. His uniform was sharp, his mind sharper. He was known for being calm under pressure, a man who thought before he acted. The world trusted him, and he carried that weight with quiet strength. "All systems normal," said the AI assistant in a soft voice. "Orbital grid functioning at full capacity. No unusual activity." Walker nodded. "Good, keep monitoring." He looked out at the curve of the Earth below. Peaceful, stable, no wars, no conflicts. Humanity had finally come together, united under the Terran Accord. With shared knowledge and advanced technology, people had moved past old divisions. Diseases were gone. Hunger was rare. Energy came from space. Life was better than ever. Then, everything changed. A sudden alarm pierced the silence. The lights inside the command center turned red. Screens flickered. Officers at their stations froze. "Unknown signal detected," the AI announced. Walker placed his coffee down. "Source, deep space. Approaching fast." Attempting to decode. On the largest screen, lines of alien code began to scroll. The symbols were strange, harsh. No one recognized them. The AI worked quickly, translating in real time. Then the message came through. The screen lit up with the image of a terrifying creature, tall, armored in bone and metal, with glowing red eyes and sharp, jagged teeth. "I am Overlord Threxar of the Zarkathi Dominion." The voice boomed, deep and cold. "Your world is now under our control. You will surrender immediately, or be destroyed." The message ended. The screen went black. No one spoke. The air felt heavy. Walker broke the silence. "Bring up visual feed from outer cams." The room moved fast. Fingers tapped. Commands were issued. And then they saw it. Hundreds of alien warships had appeared near the moon. Enormous dark vessels, shaped like blades and beasts. They floated in silence, but their message was loud. War was coming. How did they get so close without being detected? Walker asked. "Subspace tunneling," the AI answered. "Advanced stealth. Beyond anything we've seen before." Walker stared at the screen. The enemy fleet was moving. "Alert Global Command," he said. "Activate all defense networks. No panic, but tell every nation. This is real." Officers snapped into motion. Messages were sent. Defenses prepared. Walker stood still, eyes locked on the screen. He didn't know who the Zarkathi were, but he knew one thing. They were here to conquer, and Earth would not kneel. The alien ships moved closer. Hundreds of them drifted through space like a silent storm. Their dark hulls gleamed under the sunlight, casting long shadows over the moon. The shape of each ship was sharp, jagged, and unnatural, built not for peace, but for war. Inside Sky Tower, tension filled the air. Commander James Walker stood at the center of the control room. Officers worked quickly at their stations. Screens displayed real-time footage of the alien fleet as it closed in. Red warning lights flashed across the room. A second signal came in. This time it was live. The main screen lit up with the face of the same alien leader. His name was already known, Overlord Threxar. His eyes glowed with a cruel fire, and his voice was even colder than before. "Humans," he growled. "You were warned." His voice echoed through the room. "You had one cycle to surrender. You chose defiance. Your weapons are primitive. Your cities are weak. Now you will learn the price of pride." The signal ended. Seconds later, Earth's outer satellite defenses went dark. One by one, the orbital sentries, unmanned stations floating in high orbit, exploded into pieces. Bright flashes filled the sky. It was precise, clean, ruthless. Multiple satellite units offline, the AI reported. "No survivors. They're testing us," Walker said. showing us what they can do. He turned to his officers. Status of Earth's defense grid. Shields holding. Weapons online. All nations are responding. Global panic is rising, but leaders are urging calm. Walker took a deep breath. Tell them not to retaliate yet. We need a clear plan. If we rush in, we lose. A junior officer stepped forward. Commander, world leaders are asking for your strategy. They want action. Walker stared at the screen, where the alien fleet continued to move in a slow, threatening pattern. Tell them this isn't just war, it's a test. The Zarkathi think we'll break, that we'll panic. But we don't play their game. Another alert flashed across the room. The alien fleet had destroyed several small orbital mining stations near Mars. These stations were unmanned, but their destruction sent a message: nowhere was safe. Threxar was watching Earth, waiting for fear to take hold. Walker's voice was calm, firm. Prepare a full systems lockdown. Reroute communication to secure channels. We don't give them our data. Not one byte. Yes, Commander. Activate ghost satellites. I want eyes on every single ship. Track their movement. Look for patterns. As commands were followed, the screen showed a chilling sight: alien ships forming a ring around Earth's orbit. They weren't attacking yet. They were surrounding. They're trying to choke us, Walker muttered. Like a hunter surrounding prey. One officer whispered, should we prepare to evacuate civilians? Walker didn't answer right away. His jaw tightened. No, Earth holds. We're not running. He walked over to the strategy table, tapped a screen, and pulled up Earth's secret defense systems, classified weapons, hidden drones, and deep space traps never before used. He looked at the list. He looked at the sky. They want war, he said quietly. They'll get one, but not the one they expect. Earth was surrounded. From the frozen peaks of Antarctica to the deserts of Africa, the alien ships could be seen from the ground with the naked eye, black specks slowly drifting across the stars. News broadcasts showed images of the massive fleet, and across the world fear spread like wildfire. Inside Sky Tower, Commander James Walker worked without pause. He stood before the global strategy table. Around him, screens displayed movement patterns of the Zarkathi ships. They weren't attacking yet. They were waiting, watching. Status of enemy fleet, Walker asked. They've formed a wide net around the planet, replied the lead analyst. No landings, no additional messages. They're holding position. Walker stared at the map. They want us to attack first. They're baiting us. The room fell silent. Then he said, it's time. He reached down and placed his hand on a secured biometric scanner. A small screen popped up, black, encrypted, hidden from all standard systems. Open Project Blacklight, Walker said. The system blinked, then unlocked. Gasps filled the room. Project Blacklight was Earth's last resort weapon. Not many even knew it existed. It was a quantum EMP device, massive, silent, hidden deep inside a disguised research base on the moon. It had never been tested. It was designed to disable all technology within a wide range, without causing permanent harm to Earth. Sir, a senior officer said, you're activating a ghost project. That's beyond protocol. Walker didn't look up. The Zarkathi brought war. We didn't. But if we're going to strike, it must be final. He pointed to the screen showing the moon. They're moving closer every hour. We draw them in, make them think we're scared. Then we hit them all at once. Silence. Then someone asked, what if it doesn't work? Walker answered. Then Earth falls. But if it works, the war ends in one blow. The officers exchanged looks. Some were nervous. Others were inspired. Walker's voice carried weight. He didn't shout. He didn't panic. But his decisions were sharp and final. We're going to stage a retreat, he continued. We'll reduce orbital patrols. Let the aliens think we're pulling back. We'll feed them false data. Make them think Earth is trying to hide. While they move in, said his tech officer, understanding. Walker nodded. And once they're in range, we light up the moon. Meanwhile, Overlord Threxar watched Earth from the command deck of his flagship. They do not respond, one of his officers said. Their defense systems are strong, but there is fear in their broadcasts. Threxar sneered. Let them fear. Fear breaks worlds. Soon they will kneel. He raised a clawed hand and pointed toward Earth. Prepare for final positioning. We strike in hours. Back on Earth, Walker stood in the darkened strategy room, watching the alien fleet shift into a tighter formation around the moon. They're falling for it, he said. The AI confirmed. Optimal range in 3 hours. Walker walked to the observation window. He looked at the moon, glowing softly in the sky. Underneath that calm surface, Project Blacklight waited, and Earth waited too. The sky was still. The alien fleet hovered silently in high orbit, drawing closer to the moon. From Earth, the dark shapes looked like floating giants. Too many to count. People stared up from cities and towns, holding their breath. The world was waiting. Inside Sky Tower, Commander James Walker stood at the control panel of Project Blacklight. He was calm, focused. Every movement of his hands was precise. All systems charged, said the AI. Quantum pulse ready. Countdown to optimal range 47 minutes. Good, Walker said. Keep feeding the Zarkathi false data. Show them our defense is collapsing. Around him, officers monitored the situation. Earth's orbital drones had pulled back as planned. Communication signals were slowed. It all looked like retreat, but it was a trap. The Zarkathi took the bait. From his flagship, Overlord Threxar grinned. Earth weakens, he growled. Their fear drives them to hide. His generals agreed. They believed victory was near. The Zarkathi ships tightened their formation, moving closer to the moon. They wanted to strike at what they thought was Earth's last defense post. They didn't know that buried beneath the surface was Earth's deadliest weapon. Back in Sky Tower, the final countdown began. Walker turned to his lead engineer. One pulse, one chance. We can't afford a second shot. Understood, the engineer said. We've never tested it at full scale, but all indicators are green. Walker faced the room. This is it. We either save Earth now, or we fall today. The room grew quiet. Everyone was ready. Walker gave the final order. Prepare to fire. On the moon, deep inside the hidden base, the pulse generator began to hum. Light ran through the underground systems. Energy built up fast, glowing blue and white. 5 minutes, the AI announced. Threxar's fleet closed in tighter, positioning themselves around the moon like a noose. Target locked, the AI confirmed. All enemy vessels in range. Walker stared at the screen. The trap was perfect. Now it was time. He gave the order. Fire. The pulse shot out. It wasn't loud. There was no explosion, no flames. Just a bright flash of light that spread out in all directions, silent and powerful. In space, the effect was instant. One by one, the Zarkathi ships powered down. Engines stopped, lights dimmed, weapons froze. Their entire fleet went dark. Hundreds of warships drifting lifeless in orbit. Inside Sky Tower, cheers erupted. Officers stood and clapped, some with tears in their eyes. Earth had struck first, and hard. Walker didn't cheer. He kept his eyes on the screen. Launch second wave, he said. From Earth, swarms of drones launched into orbit. Fast, quiet, armed with precision tools. They weren't there to destroy the ships. They were there to disable what little might remain, and capture the command vessel. Minutes later, the lead drone team reported in. Commander, we've breached the flagship. We have Overlord Threxar in custody. No resistance. Walker finally allowed himself a breath. Good, he said. The war that started with a single threat was now nearly over. The sky was calm again, but different. Where there had once been a fleet of dark alien warships, now there was silence. Hundreds of Zarkathi vessels floated powerless above Earth, trapped in orbit like broken statues. The quantum pulse had worked. The trap had snapped shut. The trap had snapped shut. Inside Sky Tower, Commander James Walker stood tall at the center of the control room. Around him, officers worked quickly and quietly, scanning for any signs of enemy movement. "There's no activity from the alien fleet," the AI reported. "All systems remained shut down. No life support failure, no power, no weapons." Walker nodded. "Good. Begin the cleanup. Secure every ship. Priority is the flagship." Earth's drones were already moving. Thousands of small silent machines flew through space, latching onto the enemy ships. They worked like spiders, crawling across metal hulls, cutting through doors, and sealing off weapon bays. Inside each alien vessel, the crews were frozen in confusion. Their technology, once powerful, had failed them. On the Zarkathi flagship, Overlord Threxar sat alone in a containment field. He no longer roared. His sharp eyes no longer glowed. He stared at the floor, silent. His pride had been shattered. His empire's most feared fleet had been disabled in a single move. Walker watched the footage from the drone feed. "Get him to Sky Tower," he said. "I want to see him face to face." While Threxar was being transported, Earth broadcasted its message to the world. "This is Commander James Walker. The alien threat has been stopped. Earth is safe. There is no need to panic. We have won." People across the planet cheered. From New York to Tokyo, from deserts to floating cities, humans celebrated. Some cried, some shouted, and some simply stared at the sky, still in disbelief. The entire war had lasted less than 24 hours. Inside a secure room in Sky Tower, Threxar was brought in. His armor was cracked. His shoulders drooped. He looked nothing like the monster that once threatened Earth. Walker stepped into the room. They faced each other. "You expected surrender," Walker said calmly. Threxar didn't reply. "You brought war to a peaceful world," Walker continued. "You thought we were weak." Still, silence. Walker leaned forward. "Now you know what Earth does when it's forced to fight." Threxar finally looked up. His voice was low. "You surprised us." Walker turned to leave. "Next time, don't." As he walked out, Threxar sat in silence, trapped behind a force field he could not break. Walker returned to the command deck. "Begin peace protocols," he said. "Let the world rest. Let the stars know we will not be taken." That night, Earth was quiet. No more sirens, no more fear. Just a planet that had stood its ground, and won. Peace had returned to Earth. The skies were no longer filled with shadows. The alien fleet, once a threat to all life, now floated silently in orbit, disabled, powerless, and surrounded by Earth's security drones. Cleanup operations had begun. Each Zarkathi ship was being inspected, its crew detained and treated under Earth's war protocols. Inside Sky Tower, Commander James Walker stood at the large observation window. The blue curve of Earth stretched below, calm and beautiful. But the memory of what had happened in the last 24 hours still lingered in his mind. Behind him, the control room was quiet. No alarms, no panic. Just focused officers organizing the final stages of recovery. "Status update," Walker said. The AI responded. "All enemy vessels are secure. No further resistance. No signs of reinforcements. Global systems are stable. Civilian zones returning to normal." Walker nodded. "And Overlord Threxar, in containment." "He has not spoken again." Walker didn't need him to speak. The silence said enough. Across the planet, people began rebuilding what little had been damaged. The orbital satellites would be replaced. The destroyed mining stations would be rebuilt. But what mattered most was still intact: Earth's spirit. News outlets called it the one-day war. Children would one day learn about it in history books. It would be remembered not for destruction, but for unity, for strategy, for the moment when humanity, faced with an overwhelming threat, stood together and said, "Not today." Later that evening, Walker visited the secure chamber where Threxar was held. The room was dim and quiet. The alien leader sat behind an energy field, his armor scratched, his head lowered. Walker stepped forward. You could have come in peace, he said. Threxar looked up slowly. His eyes were tired. Defeated. We believed you weak, he finally said. Easy prey. Walker's voice stayed calm. That was your mistake. Threxar leaned back, silent again. Walker continued. Earth doesn't seek war, but if forced, we finish it. He turned to leave. Tell your people, he said, glancing back. Earth is not to be underestimated. Outside, stars twinkled in the dark sky. Among them, other civilizations might be watching, listening, wondering what happened when the Zarkathi came to conquer. To them, Earth now sent a new message. From Sky Tower, a signal was broadcast into deep space. It carried no threat, no warning. Just a short statement, clear and strong. We are the people of Earth. We seek peace, but we will never kneel. Commander Walker watched the signal leave the tower, heading far into the stars. He finally allowed himself a small smile. The war had lasted one day, but its echo would last forever.